So let me talk a little bit about the growth and scaling. So growth and scaling is, of course, very, very broad. But the first analogy I want to give you is what is happening in nature. There are just two conditions in nature. Either things are growing or things are dying. There is no in between. A tree or a flower is either growing or it's dying. There is no stuck and nothing is going to happen for the next 60 years. That's just not the condition that is working out in nature. And a lot of entrepreneurs go to a certain point or go to a certain level, and then they think, when I arrive this level, then I can do X, Y, Z. Then I will be free. Then I will have time for travel. Then I will have enough money to do X, Y, Z. Then I can focus on my health. Then I can focus on my relationship. Yeah? It will never work out. If this would work out, all the financial successful people would also be healthy, look beautiful, have amazing relationships, their kids love them, their family love them, they have a marriage that works out, and all the other things are also wonderful. That doesn't work out. On the other hand side, unfortunately, it also doesn't work out what a lot of people think. Oh my God, money is not important. You're always talking just about success and just about money, and you are just a greedy person, and when is enough enough, and that's not okay. Yeah? We just live in a society that's built around money, if we like it or if we don't. Okay, we can argue about that one, but it is like it is. If we don't have money, we have an issue. And there are also a lot of examples out there, like Mother Teresa or a lot of other people who did not have own money, but who were connected with very, very influential people with a lot of money. So also that is something what you can leverage. But somehow we need to basically figure out how we can have this tool, what I call money. And that's also a very important thing that we need to have clarity. Okay, what does growth and what does scaling mean for us? And why is it important? One example I already gave you. In nature, there is either growth or it's dying, no in between. In entrepreneurship, though, it's the same. Because as long as you are growing, as long as you are scaling, you will have progress, you will have change. But what is happening if we get to a certain point and then we are just comfortable enough and we start to think, okay, now I'm going to make sure that this is going to stay for the rest of my life, no matter how long it is. If it's 5 years, 50 years, 20 years, I don't care. I just want to keep on to that. I just want to hold on to that. Now, there is something that's called inflation. Yeah? When I buy a coffee in Austria, in the meantime, I pay $5.50 for a cappuccino, for one coffee. When I grew up, cappuccino was not around because they invented this marketing bullshit later on. But basically the same like cappuccino back then cost what, 5 shilling? Something like that? 5 shilling when you convert that. Thank you. That's the not scripted stuff. Thank you very much.
The real stuff.
The real stuff, including the helicopter. I love it. Right on time. Right on time. So 5 shilling is about, I don't know if you can make it up in money, 2 cents or something like that. 2 cents, 3 cents, yeah. So it's the same cappuccino. It's just 40 years difference. So the same amount of money what we have now in 5 years or in 10 years will give us tremendous less spending power. So when I just hold on to something and when I say, oh my God, when I finally reach $1 million in revenue or finally reach $1 million in profit or finally reach $1 million in XYZ, yeah? Unfortunately, when nothing goes wrong, probably you can make it. But if anything ever happen and really shit hits the fan with your personal health, with health from your significant others, probably with your kids or with other people, believe me, you are going to be messed up and you are going to get in trouble. So that's something we need to take care of. The next thing is, and that's one of the most important KPIs when we really want to grow and scale our companies. At some point, you're going to need employees to really set you completely free, or you need to build a team to really set you completely free. And the most important KPI is 250K per full-time equivalent per year. So 250K annual revenue per full-time equivalent per year. And that's where you need to go to, and that's what you need to look for. Why? I give you a couple of examples. When you are not able, as a solopreneur, to make at least 250K annual revenue, and then you search for new team members. Let's say you search for a sales rep, and you say, oh my God, you want to support me in sales? And then the potential hire asks, tell me more. Who is the top producer? And I said, yeah, well, I am the top producer. And then, okay, how much are you making? Yeah, well, last year I wanted to achieve 50K, but I ended up with 27. But that's the reason I want to hire you, because you can become rich by selling my stuff. What is the new hire going to think? Fuck that opportunity. I better look for something else. Yeah. The same thing is when you look for not productive personnel, so for people who are not directly connected to revenue, and you need very, very good skill sets. So if I'm not able to pay at least a fair amount of wages or salary, or for a contractor, what do I need to do? I always need to compromise the talent I have or I can hire, because I don't have the financial opportunities to pay them at least fair. I'm not even talking about overpaying or having the opportunity to give them a bonus if they sign up with my company, or when I grow really, really big and I'm building a C-suite. So I'm building a CMO, a COO, I'm building a CTO and all of that things. Yeah? So that's another thing. And as long as you do not have at least this 250K, you will always end up with an issue. When you take a look at some very, very successful companies, you will see they go up to 500K, some of them even more, per full-time equivalent. And that's also an important when you're in the starting period. So full-time equivalent, everybody knows what this means? Yeah? Because I did not know it a long time. That's the reason I'm asking. Yeah, so feel free. Yeah? Okay. You don't need to have one full-time employee or one full-time team member if you start out. You can start with 2 20-hour or 4 10-hour people. Of course, probably you need different skill sets at the beginning to be able to develop or deliver or grow to the next step. But then, okay, you have 4 times 10 hours a week, and then you have the same KPI that goes into it again. Yeah? Especially in the businesses where we are in. Especially in this is the minimum goal, the 250K, stretch goal at some point, ideally should be the 500K. Another reason why this really is cool and really makes sense from a financial perspective, if you want to exit your company, sell your company, or even exit the company at a certain point down the road in your life, then this is going to really make you happy. Because same again, what is a potential buyer doing? I mean, Tom, you are in the middle of the process, you are experienced that multiple times, they are looking into your numbers. They are going to take every single number, every single digit they are going to find, and they are going to turn it upside down, and they are going to look if the numbers make sense. And of course, the more the numbers make sense, the higher the multiplier is going to be, and the higher the revenue or the value is going to be what you can achieve when you sell your company. Okay? Good. Now, what is growth? What is scale? And what is scaling? Because also there is a difference, especially between scale and scaling. Scale is actually take what you already have and improve it. Make it more efficient. Make it more productive. Make sure the quality is better. The outcome is better. The speed of execution is better. Build a great process around it. Make a standard. That's scale. So scale is really what you already have, make it better and make it more successful. That is, I scale stuff, I scale a product, I scale my opportunity, I scale my business. Yeah? So now compared to scaling, what is scaling? Scaling is, now I take what I made better and I throw more resources onto it. And more resources can be technology, AI, or people. Yeah? Same again. I need to scale before I start with scaling. Yesterday we talked about this bullshit process, and if I digitalize a bullshit process, now I have a bullshit digital process. Yeah? And when then I throw AI onto this bullshit digital process, I really messed it up. Okay? And probably then I throw an employee onto this digital AI bullshit process. What did I just do? Yes. I, of course, set up my new team member for failure. And that's why so many people are struggling with hiring and cannot find great people and cannot retain great people. Because unfortunately they hire somebody, but they set them up for failure in the first step. They are not clear enough in the hiring process, wrong expectations, what the people walk into, then the expectations, what they need to deliver, how fast they need to deliver are not correct and not realistic. Probably the processes and the standards and the technology is not there, and they always think a team member is going to fix my problem. This never ain't going to happen. Never. That's also why I'm a huge fan, what I shared yesterday, Nico, about LinkedIn. I did all the LinkedIn stuff at the beginning myself. I spent, I don't know how many hundreds of hours and copy and pasting and linking and sending out all of these things manually. But it brought me to a point that I understand how it works. What works, what doesn't work, what is efficient, what sucks, what needs to be done, but it still sucks. Okay, and then we built processes around it, and then I started to not outsource this, but basically to delegate. And to delegate the responsibility to and to the accountability of all these things. Yeah? Same with sales, same with sales, same with delivery, all of these things. Yeah? So first you need to scale, then you need to enter scaling. And growth in general is at least you should cover what inflation is going to take away from you. And at least you should cover what life is maybe throwing at you. So depending on how old you are, how much money you already have sitting on the side, and what could basically at some point go wrong. So you have an amazing business model, Tom, because you help people mitigate this risk from a financial perspective. Yeah? But you know it much better than we most likely. You also know how many people don't think about what could happen to me or what could happen to my family when I get caught up in a car accident and I'm disabled for the rest of my life. Or who the fuck is going to take care of Eva or my son if whatever happens today or tomorrow to me. Yeah? So you just need to come up with a plan. And if you cannot afford a lot at the moment, I don't care as long as you start. As long as you start. And even if you can just put $1 on the side a day, I don't care, at least start. Because this is also building confidence in yourself that you are building for the future. One thing, for example, what I'm doing is I put a certain percentage of the revenue what we are collecting, so money collected, I put a certain percentage to the side automatically. So not profit or not EBITDA. So money collected and a percentage goes to the side. For what? Future investments. Future investments and taking the money, building up a certain amount, and this, the purpose of that is, should build passive income in the future. Why passive income? I love passive income because I make money if I don't work. How cool is that? I can spend more time here and I don't need to do phone calls. I can spend more time with great people like you and I don't need to do marketing and I don't need to do LinkedIn postings. Yeah? But that's only going to happen if we make it happen. It will never happen by accident. Yeah? Good. Two more things about growing and scaling I want to share, and then I'm happy to go through all the questions you probably have and some examples if you want. One thing is there is something what I learned from one of my coaches and mentors, that's the 4P. P like profit. Yeah, 4P. Yeah? So what are the 4P? Promote, profit, process, people. Promote, profit, process, people. So the first P, promote. What is promote? We as a business owner, our duty and our responsibility is we need to promote our stuff. Even if we are out of sales already and out of marketing, our responsibility is we constantly need to promote our stuff. And why do we need to promote? Because we need to promote, of course, to the market, of course, to our existing customers, but we also need to promote it to our team members. Because how can I make sure that my employees or my contractors and my team members stay engaged and still love the idea and the vision and the mission of my company? I need to promote this stuff to my team. Because when I hire somebody, I hire them based on our core values and I share our vision and mission very, very early in the process. But do you think anybody of my team members is going to remember our core values and our vision and mission if they hear it one time in the hiring process and then I'm, as the business owner, never ever talk about it again? No, no chance. Never, ever. So to close somebody nowadays, we need to have 60 to 80 fucking touch points. 60 to 80 touch points that somebody's trusting us enough to buy from us. And hiring process is nothing else than marketing and a sales process. So I also need to have a lot of touch points that somebody's trusting me enough to hire, that I can hire this person. But as soon as I hired somebody or somebody starts to work, I need to promote why they should stay with me, why they should go through the onboarding process, why they should go through the ramp-up phase, why they should stay with me and not go to somebody else who is basically able to pay 50K more annually or 5K more monthly or $2 more daily or whatever. So promote because of a lot of different things. And I mean, I don't know how you feel. I also need to promote my shit to myself because I don't have just good days. Yeah? I also have bad days and also mess myself up pretty well from time to time. Yeah? That's actually the founder psychology, the entrepreneurial mindset. So I promote the shit to myself to stay committed.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Otherwise, I would not be doing what I do after 25 years. Yeah? So, okay, promote the stuff. And of course, the purpose of a business is to generate revenue. So we need to make profit. That's the second P. So we promote our stuff to make profit. Again, think about what I said. We need to promote it first. We need to sell it first. We need to prove that we can generate profit first. And when we did it, then we build a process around it. So then the third P, the process. Again, first, promote and make profit. An MVP is a great example for that. So what you are doing with super support. And that's also why I recommended the launch strategy yesterday, because you don't need to have a process in place yet. You need to start and you need to get feedback from the market as soon as possible. And then based on the feedback, you improve it, and then you get feedback again, you improve it. Do it over and over and over again. Yeah. So the third step is process. And then the fourth step is people. Then you throw people onto it, or AI. Yeah. Not everything will be able to do with AI, but we know a lot is able to be handled by AI. Yeah? So that's the 4P. So what are the 4 M's? Model, mimic, master, multiply. So the 4 M's is model, mimic, master, multiply. Yeah, so model, mimic, master, multiply. So what is model? Model is, I take something what somebody else already did very successfully, and I adapt it to my situation. Yeah, so what I just do is model, mimic, master, multiply. The 4 P's and the 4 M's, I did not invent it. I heard it from a very successful coach and mentor, and I adapted it for my business, and now I share it with you because I can prove that it works. Yeah? So model. What is the second thing? Mimic. Mimic other successful people in your industry. It's nearly impossible today that you are going to end up in a situation where you do not have somebody you can mimic. As long as you are not Elon Musk and want to go to Mars, okay? Yeah? Otherwise, all our business models, we can find incredible role models out there. Incredible role models we can model and mimic. And that's also a very, very good thing, because make sure that you are taking the right piece of advice from the right people. Because it's very rare that somebody, bless you, has it all.
Right.
So when you have a very successful entrepreneur in your industry, you probably want to learn from him how to get the finances right and how to get the business model right and maybe the hiring or the HR right. But if this person is super unhealthy and is divorced 5 times, please tell him, shut the fuck up and don't give me relationship advice and don't give me health advice. Yeah? So if somebody talks about these things, don't listen to these people, okay? On the other hand side, if somebody is very healthy and very happy in his relationship but never ever is able to pay his fucking bills, yes, listen to the health advice, but maybe not to the financial advice. Yeah? If somebody is just talking about all these things, don't listen to them in the first place. You really make sure that you listen to the right piece of advice from the right people. Okay? So that's basically model, mimic. Yeah? So now what is master? Master is, again, for me personally, for my companies. Master this skill. Master the skill for myself. Like we said before, the 4 P's, master these 4 P's for yourself. And then, when you mastered it, when you improved it, when it's really, really good, then you can multiply it. The last M, then you can multiply it. And multiply it is, again, either with technology or with team members, or multiply can also be you delegate the responsibility and the accountability now. So we do not delegate a task anymore, but we delegate the accountability and the responsibility for this department, for this topic, for this area, for whatever. Okay?